2020. My degree was a Bachelor's of Business Administration in Business Administration with a concentration in marketing, and I'm originally from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Okay, so I moved to Hilo in 2013, fresh out of high school, and I came to UH Hilo to get my bachelor's degree. Pretty much stayed here ever since. I started working at UH Hilo after I graduated. In 2024, I moved to Australia for 1 year for a working holiday visa, just because I wanted to know what it was like to live in another country. And I moved back to Hilo in June 2025, so pretty recently, and began looking for my next career direction. I knew I kind of wanted to branch away from higher education just to get some new experiences, but I actually think that my interests in where I'm at now kind of started while I was at UH Hilo, because I slowly started developing this interest in sustainability, community engaged work, environmental issues, and all of my experiences kind of planted this seed that I wanted to do some work in the realm of sustainability or working in the community. Even living in Australia for that 1 year gave me a new perspective on how different programs can support people, and I think that all just naturally led to where I am today. So after I graduated from UH Hilo in 2017, I transitioned pretty seamlessly from working as a student in the admissions office to working as an admissions counselor professionally. So I was an admissions counselor for about 5 years, and then in 2022, I became the Bonner Program Coordinator with the Center for Community Engagement. And in that role, I got to work with a lot of different community organizations. And my interest in community work just grew a lot stronger because I was constantly in the community, volunteering, meeting people doing amazing things, and getting to see the challenges that our communities face and also the strengths within them. So that's actually how I first connected with the food basket. Is I brought someone in to talk about the work that they do with my students, and we even volunteered with them. So I kind of had an idea of what the organization did. I knew that I really liked what they were doing, just a positive experience. So when I came back to Hilo and was looking for jobs and I saw this role pop up, I was kind of immediately intrigued, and it seemed to fit this previous goal of mine to work within the realm of sustainability, just working with food insecurity. And so it just seemed like a natural fit for my next path. So I believe that UH Hilo has a very strong sense of community, and when I was a student I was super involved. So I worked for admissions, I worked for housing, I was a part of the Student Activities Council, I was a part of Hanakahi, kind of all over the place. And I think being everywhere all the time helped me develop like a appreciation for community connection and collaboration. And even as a business student, I got to work with some small businesses. I got to connect with the Chamber of Commerce, and that just reinforced the importance of supporting local economies. So I think overall, UH Hilo just helped me understand how interconnected community, business, and sustainability are, and helped me figure out that I want to work in the community. So my time at UH Hilo was a mix of being a student and a staff member, and so my experience evolved a lot over time. I think the thing that connects it all is that as a student, as a staff member, it was the people that I built relationships with that helped me along the way. So because UH Hilo is, a small community, you can really build strong bonds with people over time, and it was, professors that recommended me for internships or scholarships, or colleagues that recommended me for other positions. It was actually a coworker in the admissions office that told me about the Bonner Program Coordinator position, and that's how I ended up in that role. And in that role, my supervisor, Julie Maurer, was very influential in helping me get a better understanding of what meaningful community engagement looks like. And in that role, I was constantly just connecting with leaders in the community that were doing amazing things. And I think being around people that are doing impactful work is very inspiring, and it made me think about the kind of work that I wanted to be a part of. So the BUX program is a 50% discount for SNAP EBT cardholders on local fruits and vegetables at participating retailers statewide. So in practice, it's doubling the purchasing power of low-income households so that they can shop locally and eat healthy food. At the same time, it supports local farmers by increasing their customer base, increasing their revenue, but it also supports the local economy because it's keeping food dollars in the state and contributing to this greater food system resilience and self-reliance. So it's kind of a triple win. So a typical day for me is honestly a lot of time in spreadsheets, which I love. Our retailers will track all of their SNAP and BUX transactions, and they send us that data every month so that we can reimburse them for the discounts that they give to customers. So my role is to collect that data, review it, make sure everything makes sense, clean it up if needed, and also just prepare it for our finance team. So a lot of what I'm doing is reconciling reports and following up with retailers if we need revisions or clarification. So it's a lot of nitty-gritty computer work, which I like. But I think one of my favorite things about this job is that I can do what I like to call field trips, and get away from the office and help out with emergency food distributions. I can help with our CSA food deliveries, or community events. I was here on campus a few weeks ago doing an event, and I think that having those experiences to interact face-to-face with the community just helps me be inspired about the work that we're doing, and it makes the data piece a little bit more meaningful. So BUX is grant funded through a federal grant called GUSNIP, which is the Gus Schumacher Nutrition Incentive Program. So that is actually a grant through the USDA, and so with any federal grant comes a lot of responsibility. We're required to have matching funds, and all of this money is basically being used to run the program. So that's reimbursing retailers, that's paying for my job, paying for my colleagues' jobs, just everything to make the program run smoothly. And because it is grant money, there are a lot of requirements as far as what we need to do. So what we have to provide as deliverables, how we report data and how we store data. So this role has just taught me a lot about how detailed we need to be, what kinds of data we can and can't use, how we store that data, how programs are reviewed by auditors. And it's just given me a greater appreciation for what it takes to run a nonprofit and the structure and accountability that comes along with that, which I think has been super valuable. One of my main challenges is just collecting accurate and timely data from our retailers. A lot of our retailers are small businesses, and with small business comes limited capacity, and understanding that means, I'm just focusing on building strong relationships. I'm trying to be as clear and supportive as possible in my communication with the retailers. I just want to make the process as simple as possible so that we can pay them back for this amazing thing that they're helping us do. We do have a BUX Ambassador program where we essentially employ someone or provide additional funds for someone at certain food hubs to help out with the BUX implementation, so just easing some of the administrative burden. But basically our partners are really essential to what we do, so as long as I'm being flexible, supportive, and appreciative, I think that we can keep things running smoothly. So working in food distribution has just given me a much more direct understanding of food insecurity in Hawaii. Living on an island has inherent challenges when it comes to supply chain limitations, higher costs of goods, and that I think is very apparent, but seeing firsthand families wait hours in line for food or talking to people from all different kinds of backgrounds about the challenges that they're facing just makes it that much more real. And I think it's given me a much more frontline perspective, which has reinforced my belief that addressing food insecurity is going to be a collective effort. I think that it's not just an individual issue, it's a community responsibility. And I think that solutions are going to come from collaboration across sectors. My biggest piece of advice is to be open and get involved. Take advantage of every and any opportunity to explore different communities, different programs, to have different experiences, do the volunteer opportunity, do the student exchange, take the internship. Whatever it is, it's going to just broaden your perspective and shape your path. I think Hilo is known for experiential learning, and that's for a reason. Experiential learning is incredibly valuable, and the more that you engage, I think the more prepared you'll be for wherever your career takes you. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. Be open and get involved. Mahalo nui for listening to my story. I hope that this encourages you to keep exploring and pushing forward to pursue the unknown. I would like to thank the Food Basket, especially Raphael and Chelsea, for bringing me on board. I would like to thank everyone at Hilo that's been a part of my experience, from the admissions office to Center for Community Engagement to Kobe, all of my professors, my fellow students. It's really shaped my path of who I am today and where I hope to go with my career. And I just want to also say I'm very grateful to be a part of such a vibrant and supportive community here at Hilo.